Welcome to the 37th Annual Gala of Epilepsy Foundation New England. I'm Susan Lynn, and I have the honor of serving as the President and CEO of Epilepsy Foundation New England. Here we are again, together, yet 6 feet apart. The pandemic may have interrupted our plans for the year, as it did most of our plans, but our extraordinary team was there to meet the needs of our community with your help. Starting on March 16th, we began serving children, youth, and families in extraordinary ways. We became experts at Zoom and experts at outreach. When people experienced higher rates of anxiety and depression and fear, especially in those early days when we weren't sure what was going on, Epilepsy Foundation New England was there and offered an unprecedented 30 programs per year. As we looked upon the summer and we realized that in-person summer camp probably wasn't going to happen, we pivoted and we created a 12-week summer camp program for kids. And while some kids were skeptical at first about how summer camp would be in the virtual environment, and while we admit it might not have been ideal, by the time camp was over, children were sad to have seen it go, and they were thrilled with the new friendships and connections they made. Today we're offering 30 to 40 support groups every single month. We've launched epilepsy resource rooms in hospitals across Massachusetts and New Hampshire and are working on the same model in Maine and Rhode Island. We have an extraordinary community education program, bringing webinars and conferences to people across New England, people that before the pandemic, before our advanced Zoom capability, really couldn't travel to be with us and who are missing out on support groups, on conferences, and other recreation programs. So whether you are an adult that is looking for a cooking class or journaling or a book club, or you need to meet other people or parents who have children with epilepsy, or you're a young adult that's looking to meet other young adults that are maybe staying home from college this year because of the pandemic, or maybe thinking about unique ways to come together and learn yoga and art together, we have something for everyone. The pandemic has been hard on Epilepsy Foundation New England, as it's been hard on nonprofits, businesses, families, on all of us. I'm happy to tell you that Epilepsy Foundation New England is strong. Thanks to your support, a wonderful board of directors, so many volunteers, and a very talented team, we have a bright future ahead of us. We have served more people than ever during the pandemic. Our Young Leaders Network, which focuses on children, young adults ages 15 through 25, grew from 325 participants in March to over 550 people now. We have advanced our epilepsy resource room with the addition of 25 AmeriCorps members. These are people who are dedicating a year of service to helping people with epilepsy across our region. These are people who are providing mentoring, hand-holding, who walk young people through understanding public transportation, who walk people through the ins and outs of coping with their new diagnosis, who help parents to get the information and resources their children need to succeed in school, especially in this environment where IEPs and 504s are difficult to understand and difficult to implement. So, thank you for joining us at the 37th Annual Gala. It's not that we're all together in a big ballroom and celebrating, but we are celebrating, especially this year, our epilepsy healthcare providers, doctors, nurses, social workers, pharmacists, first responders, and so many more have gone extraordinary lengths to be sure that our community continues receiving the essential care that they need to be healthy and strong. The stories we hear day in and day out about people going to just incredible lengths to be sure our community has what it needs in terms of health services. Tonight you're going to hear some tributes to some of our healthcare providers in New England. But rest assured that for every person mentioned tonight, there are dozens of people who are working hard right now, even as we are talking with you now, helping people through new diagnosis, through seizures, through coping with epilepsy. I want to take a moment and especially thank our Professional Advisory Board Chair, Tracy Milligan, an epileptologist at Brigham and Women's Hospital. Dr. Milligan had been our chair of the Professional Advisory Board for the past 3 years, and under her leadership, our board grew from a few epileptologists to more than 30 caring care providers who work together with Epilepsy Foundation New England to shape the amazing programs and services we offer today. Tracy retired from her PAB role in September. She's not going anywhere from the Brigham and Women's Hospital, and we're grateful to her for her service. And we welcome Dr. Philip Pearl, Chief of Epilepsy at Boston Children's Hospital, to the new role of Professional Advisory Board Chair. Thank you so much to Dr. Pearl and Dr. Milligan for your service to our Professional Advisory Board and to the 30 members of our Professional Advisory Board. There are so many people to thank in terms of our healthcare providers that we could list them. I could spend an hour listing the extraordinary people and extraordinary stories. But I do want to give a special shout out to our board chair, Dr. Andrew Cole, Chief of Epilepsy at Mass General Hospital, who became the chair of our board of directors in March of 2020, just days before the pandemic really started affecting our community. In fact, it was March 5th. So Dr. Cole took the helm at an unprecedented time and was there with me and with our team every single day, making sure that we pivoted and that we did all the things we could to be sure we were there to serve our community, that we worked on our revenue and expenses, and we landed on our feet strong. So thank you especially to Dr. Cole for his service not only to his epilepsy patients, but also to Epilepsy Foundation New England. And finally, I'd like to thank Dr. John Gaetanis, also who serves on our board of directors. Thanks, John, for all you do. We're so grateful to all of you who are serving in board roles and all of you who are serving behind the scenes. And those of you who are not mentioned tonight, we want to give a special shout out. We so appreciate everything you do. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Jordan Rich, WBZ Radio, and I am so excited to be here virtually with you. And thank you for joining us here for the Epilepsy Foundation of New England. This is a big event, and you're part of it, and you're going to help us to fund a cause. And the cause is super important. So strap in and enjoy yourselves, have a great time, and thank you in advance for helping out.
Well, good evening. I'm Andrew Cole. I'm the chair of the board of the New England Epilepsy Association, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here to the 37th Annual Gala. This year, of course, it's a little different than it used to be because we can't be together, but we can be together virtually and we can be together in spirit. The theme of today's gala is to honor healthcare providers. I didn't choose that theme, even though I am a healthcare provider, but the idea is to recognize the incredible contributions that our healthcare providers in New England have made to the management and care of patients with epilepsy. And this year they've stepped up even more than ever, I think, in so many ways. I want to note the rapid switch from office visits to virtual visits, the ability to see patients while the patient is safe at home, the ability to respond outside of the usual constraints of a clinic schedule, and the willingness of my colleagues across the state and across the region to step up and meet the needs of the epilepsy community where people live, rather than making access more difficult. The COVID situation has actually, in many ways, made access to healthcare resources easier. Another way that healthcare providers have really stepped up is even neurologists have dove in to helping out in the surge situations that we had in March and April and May, working in respiratory clinics, working in medical intensive care units, relatively far from their own field, but stepping in to help those who are taking care of the sickest patients. And we're all prepared, again, to step into those roles if it becomes necessary as we head into the winter, although of course we hope they won't. The Epilepsy Foundation of New England has done an extraordinary job in also pivoting during this time. And under the leadership of Susan Lynn, the organization has gone from a largely in-person experience and live event experience to essentially a totally virtual organization. Support groups, learning sessions, services are all being provided over the phone, over the televideo tools that we have available. And this has had also a great impact. One of the challenges with epilepsy is that many patients who have that illness can't drive. So transportation is a fundamental problem for people in our community. Suddenly, the need for transportation, at least to Epilepsy Foundation organized events has disappeared. We also have geographic constraints. Many of the activities of the organization are located in Boston or Rhode Island, but many of the patients who benefit from our services are scattered far and wide across the hills of New Hampshire and the coast of Maine. Those people now can access our services in a way they never could before without having to drive or be driven hours and hours. Susan deserves incredible amount of gratitude and recognition for her ability to imagine a different way of doing what the Epilepsy Foundation of New England does, and doing it in many ways better. And from a national point of view, we've been leaders in this transition. And many of the programs that Susan has developed and moved from live to virtual are being reproduced and mimicked by others across the country. The Epilepsy Foundation of New England has 4 major areas of work. We support research, basic research and clinical research on epilepsy with a substantial amount of funding of several $100,000 a year. We support programs and services. This is where the most robust points of contact are with members of the foundation and supporters of the foundation and people affected by the illness. We support advocacy as well, with attention to laws and rules and regulations, a voice in the state houses across the region, and advocating for the services and the support and the respect that patients affected by epilepsy deserve in our system. And I said there were 4. The 4th one is that we provide community. And I think one of the amazing things about this foundation is how it has created a community for people who are affected by epilepsy or who have family members affected by epilepsy to come together, to exchange views, to support each other, to come up with ideas, and to articulate the patient's voice and the family's voice to those who work professionally in the epilepsy field but may not experience the illness in and of themselves. So research, programs and services, advocacy, and community. Those are really the foundational pillars of the Epilepsy Foundation of New England. This is a gala, so I couldn't possibly give a speech here and not talk about funds just a little bit. And I think it's really important to know that we depend on the gala every year for a substantial amount of revenue to support the activities of the foundation. And that's no different this year. In fact, it's truer than ever. So think about it this way. You don't need to rent a tux. You don't need to hire a babysitter. You don't need to drive into Boston. You don't need to park at the ridiculous parking rates that Boston offers. You don't need to even buy a ticket this year. So think about that as you consider a gift of support to the Epilepsy Foundation in New England, and maybe add just a little bit based on those other sums that you might have saved this year. I want to call out just a few people for recognition. I've already mentioned Susan Lynn, and she's just done a fantastic job as the executive director of the organization, from a practical point of view, from a programmatic point of view, from a strategic point of view. And without her, we would not be where we are today as probably one of the biggest, perhaps the biggest patient-facing epilepsy organizations in the country. I also want to acknowledge Bill Murphy, who leads our advocacy effort and has done an extraordinary job for the foundation over so many years. And I'd like to mention Brad Rich, who runs the donation center, which has provided an extraordinary steady stream of revenue to the foundation, without which we couldn't do many of the things we do now. And the COVID situation was particularly hard on the donation center because of the nature of its business. Brad has guided the donation center with extraordinary skill, and recently we seem to have turned the corner, getting back to our typical revenue stream, which is so critical for the foundation. And thanks to all the other members of our staff who devote extraordinary effort to the cause of providing good quality services and creating a community for people affected by epilepsy. It's my pleasure again to welcome you here tonight and to thank you for whatever support you can offer and to wish you all the best as we begin to head toward the holiday season.
Hi, Dr. Dewalski. I've been fortunate to have you for a doctor for over 10 years. And from the very beginning, I've always felt we've had an honest and trusting relationship. You're a genuine and very caring doctor. Whether it be in the office, on the phone, or in email, you've always been there for me with hope and encouragement. I've always felt that you've treated me the way you would treat a member of your own family. I love you, and I appreciate you. Thank you, Dr. Dewalski. You're the best.
My name is Eric Folan. I've been a patient for Dr. Elizabeth Thiel for over 20 years, and I want to say thank you, Dr. Thiel, for everything you do. You have helped out my family in numerous occasions, and one of the biggest things I want to say thank you for is when you put me on the clinical trial for the CBD oil. That was just amazing, and if probably if I haven't done that, I probably wouldn't be where I am now. I'm working, I'm doing a sports podcast, and then you've also helped out a lot too, because I did a documentary in high school. You killed it explaining how things are with dealing with seizures. You did a great job in the interview. And you, there's so many things you've just helped out with, and you're one of the most determined, positive, outgoing people I know. And yeah, I think there's a lot I can say that's just great, and you've helped out a lot. So thank you for everything, and I could not ask for more.
Okay, guys, it's now an opportunity for all of us to get together and fund a cause. First one I want to tell you about is just a $200 donation, just $200 to help with our programs for kids, including Kids Connect and others. This is an opportunity for you to step up and support the children who mean so much to us. $200, you can do it. Go for it.
For the past year, the team at Epilepsy Foundation New England has been working hard to bring you hope. When I say hope, I mean hope in all the traditional ways, and I also mean Hope the Lion. Hope the Lion is a program designed to help newly diagnosed children, youth, families, and even adults to have something to literally hold on to. The lion represents strength and bravery and courage, and Hope the Lion comes with an activity book focused on resilience and building skills to cope with epilepsy. The Hope the Lion may have been slightly delayed by the pandemic. We were hoping to see her this spring, but now it looks like she's going to arrive in December, and we can't wait to see her in hospitals, epilepsy resource room, and most importantly, in the hands of people living with epilepsy across New England. So this is Hope, and I want to introduce you to my friend Hope. And this is Hope. And next year, you're going to see Hope across New England at our walks, at our camps, and other Epilepsy Foundation New England. Hopefully by that time, we won't need a mask anymore. Let's hope for that.
So August 1st was a day that will forever change my life and my son's life. My beautiful fiancée, Zatara, passed away. She had a seizure. She was home alone. And we found out she didn't show up for work, and we found out she passed from a seizure. And within a couple days, some people made some donations in memory of her, and one of them, my father. And a couple days passed, and Epilepsy Foundation of New England reached out to me, and through some emails at first, talking, and gradually I moved to some phone calls, and I never even contacted them. They contacted me. Unfortunately, I think I'm a great person to speak for the awareness of this, because I didn't even know what it was. And now it's pretty much going to be a part of my life forever. The help that they provided financially was incredible to give me that support and make it so that I didn't have to worry about paying the mortgage next month, and that I could focus more on just trying to get through it with me and my son emotionally. That was tremendous. And I think even more for me, they connected me with another gentleman, Matt, who his fiance passed away with a seizure. And the similarities between his fiance, Erica, and my fiance, Zatara, were, I mean, it was almost the same situation, other than they didn't have a child. And that connection has been invaluable to me, because I have a lot of support, but he's a different type of support that I can't get from family members, because none of them have been through this. And he knows exactly what I mean, how I feel, as opposed to getting from people, I just don't know what to tell you, I don't know what to say, even though they mean well. So that help has been a lifeline. And it's, this day and age, social media can be good or bad. I think one of the great things is it's so easy to just click a share button on someone's donation drive, or just something they post about the Epilepsy Awareness, Epilepsy Foundation of New England. You never know who it's going to reach. One person could make a big difference, and I'm proof of that. And for me, it's just, this organization or foundation is tremendous, and I would do anything to help it. They've done, to them it's probably nothing, but to me it's meant the world. And you wonder, when you make donations, you wonder, is this going to some guy in a desk? Or, I never truly understood that. And now being in it, like, I can tell you firsthand that money goes to where it needs to go. And for me, there will never be a donation for Epilepsy Foundation that I skip over. It's so important to me. It's something that I will forever champion and be a part of, and try to help raise awareness. It's such a big thing, and thank you so much for listening.
I am grateful to be a patient of Dr. Detanis. Dr. Detanis is a genuine, caring doctor who is a good listener to not only me, but to my mother as well. He answers all questions and is very thorough when answering anything that is asked. During the pandemic and time of quarantine, I had a virtual visit with him. It was definitely different than any other doctor's appointment I've had, but we managed to cover things just like we do in any other appointment. If it wasn't for Dr. Detanis and the right combination of seizure medications, I wouldn't be where I am today. Over a year, seizure-free.
Right now, I want to talk to you about the importance of hope. Without it, we're all done for. We've had a tough 8 or 9 months. The whole world has, and certainly the community that is part of the Epilepsy Foundation of New England. Hope is something that is in short supply. But there is a way that you can add hope to the equation, add hope to so many in the epilepsy community by helping us with funding a cause. This Cause for Hope is $1,000. $1,000 can mean all kinds of things to all kinds of people, especially children. So I really implore you, as you watch us on your screens, to think about $1,000. Not a little money, of course, but a donation that'll go an awfully long way. So please, if you can, support our cause, support the need with $1,000. Thank you.
Epilepsy Foundation New England relies on the time and talent of hundreds of volunteers a year. And each month we honor a volunteer of the month. And even moreover, every year we pick a special volunteer of the year. The foundation relies on the time and talent of people who bring all sorts of experience. And about a year ago, we started working with an extraordinarily talented and dedicated group of people from the Harvard Business School Community Action Partners. A 7-member team of alums from the Harvard Business School worked for hours and hours with us from the fall all the way through the summer to create a new marketing plan and new strategies for Epilepsy Foundation New England. And we couldn't be more grateful, especially during the pandemic, Their work has been pivotal in helping us to continue providing services and reaching our clients in the digital atmosphere. So tonight I have with me Teg Rood, and Teg is representing the Harvard CAP group. So Teg, on behalf of Epilepsy Foundation New England, thank you so much to you and your team at Harvard CAP for your extraordinary services, and congratulations on being named Volunteer of the Year.
Well, thank you very much, Susan.
All right, Teg.
Over there. You know, this is extraordinary for us because you have a very large number of people working with you in the volunteer sector, and to find out all of a sudden that our little group of 7 is the most important group of the year, it's a big honor. You know, we're flattered, to say the least. As people may know, CAP has been around for about 25 years, and each year the board chooses about 15 projects for nonprofits that the alums can contribute to. It's our way of giving back. And then when they've made that choice, we get to choose who we're going to work with. And the 7 of us chose EFNE, and I don't think any of us have any doubt that it was a great thing to do. We had a great time. We had a lot of things to go through, and your team was committed to it all the way through. And the award, of course, indicates that we succeeded. You know, the CAP made a good choice in terms of the board made a good choice in choosing you, and we were lucky enough to tag along. But I have to say that in my several years of doing this, we're a part of the solution, we're a part of the success. But frankly, the commitment and the energy that the client team brings to it is a heck of a lot more important. And all the way along, the EFNE crowd brought an awful lot of energy, an awful lot of talent, and it wouldn't have happened this way without you folks as well. And my reaction to all of that is that the people in New England who are affected in one way or another by epilepsy are darn lucky to have EFNE working for them.
Thanks,
So
Teg.
thanks very much.
Thanks, Teg, and congratulations again to the Harvard Business School Community Action Partners. We're so grateful to you. Thank you.
Good evening to all the participants of Epilepsy Foundation New England's Spotlight Gala honoring healthcare professionals. We are excited to share a few words with you tonight. At UCB, we are committed to transforming the lives of people living with epilepsy. We are extremely proud to support this event to recognize the amazing healthcare professionals across New England and everything that they do to impact the lives of epilepsy families and their hopes for a bright future. During these unprecedented times, you all have gone above and beyond. You have juggled the needs of your own families along with the needs of your patients. You make yourselves available at all hours of the day. You create reasons to smile, and tonight we are here to thank you for all that you do, for constantly speaking up for your patients, and for your unwavering commitment to the community.
Now more than ever, people living with epilepsy are the heart of everything we do here at UCB, and we have reinforced our commitment to the epilepsy community. A few ways we have shown our commitment is through our support of the epilepsy resource rooms throughout New England. This program, made up of AmeriCorps volunteers, provides individualized support services to help people living with epilepsy with non-medical aspects of their care. UCB is also a proud sponsor of Sail for Epilepsy, a partner of Epilepsy Foundation New England. We support Dr. Phil Hayden and his sailing journey across the world's oceans. His mission is to increase epilepsy awareness, educate, raise funds to support research, and inspire people with epilepsy, their families, and their caregivers to take one extra step towards living a fuller life. We further fulfill our promise that patients are at the heart of everything we do by continuing the UCB Family Epilepsy Scholarship Program. Under this program, we offer educational scholarships to people living with epilepsy, their families, and their caregivers. This year, 3 individuals from New England were among the 33 scholarship winners. Congratulations! Finally, in response to the ongoing pandemic, we have taken steps to make our medications more accessible and affordable. As your local UCB camp volunteers, we want to let you know that we miss all the smiling campers' faces. When it is safe for us to get back together, we are confident that our UCB volunteer team will be ready for a fun game of Gaga Ball.
Just like all of you, New England is our home. UCB has a strong and growing presence in the state of Massachusetts, with research and development centers based in Cambridge, Boston, and here in Bedford. UCB New England is also a team of local and diverse neurology experts who always come together with one goal in mind, and that is to allow patients to live their best lives. We believe we are stronger together. We raise our glasses to the greatest epilepsy healthcare team serving patients today. We here at UCB look forward to seeing your bright smiles in the near future. Together, we can make epilepsy history.
I was diagnosed with epilepsy 5 years ago. My journey has been good so far, but it has not always been like this. When I was first diagnosed, I had so many doctors telling me different things, and they all had different opinions. My parents wanted the best care for me. That's why we went to Boston Children's Hospital to see the top neurologist, Dr. Pearl. He saved my life, and I will always be grateful for him. He gave me the strength to keep going, and I have been seizure-free for 2 years now. If I hadn't met Dr. Pearl, I don't think I would be where I am today. I wish there was a word better than thank you to show how much respect I have for him. We love you, Dr. Pearl.
Hello, my name is Lisa Maffey, and I'm a nurse practitioner, and I'm honored to be here tonight to give this tribute. I have had the good fortune to meet Dr. Chang Lee through his work with the Epilepsy Foundation of New England in the communities it serves. Chang Lee, MD, PhD, is an associate professor of neurology at Brigham and Women's Hospital. After losing 6 of his patients to SUDEP, sudden, unexpected death in epilepsy, Dr. Lee has continued to dedicate himself to the epilepsy community, not just by his role as an epileptologist, a published researcher, and an academic lecturer, but also by designing a medical-grade smart mattress to aid in SUDEP detection. He and his medical partner competed in the 9th Annual Epilepsy Shark Tank competition this past August and won a share of the money to try to bring this innovation to market. This mattress, which is designed to detect a seizure and position the person from prone position or lying on their stomach back to side-lying position. This is one of the only devices that can actively intervene with what could be a terminal seizure. I became aware of Dr. Lee and his efforts when I developed a relationship with Susan Lynn at the Epilepsy Foundation of New England in January of 2019. That relationship came about because of the sudden and tragic loss of my son Anthony to SUDEP. Anthony was a 22-year-old healthy young man, seizure-free for 2.5 years on daily medications when SUDEP stole him. This has left such a tragic loss in the community and in Anthony's family. SUDEP discussion and prevention is what inspired me to return to school for my doctorate this past year. I am most grateful for the dedication of Dr. Lee and his ongoing efforts to prevent SUDEP. He has agreed to collaborate with me to conduct research, which is helping to frame SUDEP discussion through the use of an epilepsy safety checklist. This checklist tool may help to identify modifiable risk factors to guide lifestyle changes that may reduce the risk of SUDEP. With dedicated neurologists like Dr. Chang Lee, whose academic and innovative ways have helped to highlight SUDEP, we can make a difference in SUDEP awareness, risk identification and reduction, and eventual prevention. Thank you and congratulations to Dr. Lee.
Everyone, I'm having a great time. I wish I were with you in a big room in some fancy hotel, as was the case last year, but we have to do what we have to do. The flowers are beautiful. I haven't sneezed once. I now want to take an opportunity, though, to talk about a friend of all of us, a friend to the Epilepsy Foundation of New England, but just a wonderful human being, and that, of course, is Ted Bunn, whose presence is felt every day. And when he was taken ill with a stroke early in the year, his absence was just devastating. He's done so much for the organization. So the good news is Ted is healing and doing quite well, and he's fighting his way back every single day. Even better news for us tonight is that we've set up the Ted Bunn Summer Camp Fund, which is an opportunity for you, if you've got it available, the means available, to offer $2,500 to help support summer camps that this foundation supports. Hundreds of kids every year go to camp. This past summer it was virtual, but we're going to make it our goal to see the kids back in camp next year, all of us. And with a $2,500 donation, a gift, you'll not only be supporting those kids, but you'll be saying to Ted, who's watching tonight, how much we love him, how much we admire him, and how much we need him back. So, $2,500, send some kids to camp, and let's salute our good friend Ted.
I have the distinct honor of working with Dr. Douglas at Boston Medical Center as a resource room coordinator. Boston Medical Center critically conceptualizes its incredible healthcare as built on respect and powered by empathy, and I believe that Dr. Douglas fully embodies this. Dr. Douglas is the head of child neurology at Boston Medical Center. She is an incredible doctor, friend, and source of support to so many children and families living with epilepsy in the New England community. She is a truly inspiring and compassionate provider whose care for her patients extends far beyond her office. She views each patient and their family holistically, honoring their strengths, capacities, and interests as people, and is deeply invested in the emotional and physical well-being and development of those in her care. Every time I mention Dr. Douglas's name to someone in the epilepsy community, there is an outpouring of love and support. And I believe it is because of her boundless empathy, tireless advocacy, and eternal care for her patients as people. From her work to enhance accessibility to telemedicine for her patients with the impactful telehealth epilepsy care collaborative that she developed, to her culturally competent work to reduce stigma in America surrounding epilepsy, and to advocate for equity as it relates to racial disparities in quality of healthcare, Dr. Douglas has an incredible legacy that emphasizes a deep commitment to well-being for her patients that is rooted in social justice and inclusion. She views every person and their story as precious and treats them with the utmost dignity and respect. She remembers important things about her patients that extend far beyond hospital walls and often mean so much to the children that she serves, from their favorite movies to their favorite subject in school and so much more. I believe that she is a role model to the children and adolescents she serves, and she is certainly a role model to me. I have also gathered that she is an incredible source of support and a compassionate, kind, and wonderful presence to so many families and parents that she works with. Dr. Douglas is an amazing ally to those living with epilepsy and a beloved member of this community. It is a true honor to work with her and to see the inspiration she brings to so many people. As a resource room coordinator, I have the incredibly meaningful role of connecting patients with a variety of amazing programs and services offered by the Epilepsy Foundation of New England. I often conceptualize this role as a bridge, serving to ensure that patients with pediatric neurology at Boston Medical Center are honored and included in the many incredible services of the foundation, from our support groups, educational programming, and beyond. This resource room model has been implemented at many hospitals and comprehensive epilepsy centers throughout New England, and it has been incredible to engage with my fellow resource room coordinators at their different host sites and recognize the impact of our work. I want to say to those in the epilepsy community that as resource coordinators, we are here for you. We are here to listen to you, to support you, to have Zoom dance parties with you, to hear how your school is going, and to know your dog's name. We are here to connect you to the incredible programming that we have. From our Young Leaders Network that honors the many strengths, gifts, and talents of youth living with epilepsy and honors the power of community, where you can engage in an amazing host of activities from cooking to journaling and just about anything in between. We are here to support you and to honor your lives and stories. We are here to offer you support in times that can be stressful and in hospital environments that can feel intimidating at times. We have the distinct honor to work with a diverse and resilient community of people that live with epilepsy. And speaking for all of the resource coordinators, you inspire us beyond words. We are here to support you for whatever you need. We are here to amplify your voice, honor your story, and care for you. We are here to connect with you and connect you to a beautiful community of friends at the Epilepsy Foundation of New England that embrace you and honor you for who exactly you are. We are here for you. Please reach out to any of us if you ever need anything. A Zoom to hear about your interests and read a book together, a question about accessing vital resources in our community, such as accessing financial assistance for medication and beyond, facilitating connection through share groups that you're interested in and that we can accompany you to, a dance party, laugh, smile, meaningful conversation, whatever you need and whatever we can provide you to enhance your care, we are here. Please visit our resource coordinator page at the Epilepsy Foundation of New England website to learn more and to speak with any of us today. Thank you so much.
Hi, and congratulations to the healthcare professionals who are the honorees at this year's Epilepsy Foundation of New England Gala. I'm Bernard Chang, one of the neurologists in the Comprehensive Epilepsy Center at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center in Boston. This year, we at BIDMC lost one of our longtime colleagues and providers, Diane Sundstrom. Diane was our epilepsy nurse specialist here at BIDMC for decades. She passed away peacefully after a battle with cancer. Diane first joined us after having worked on our inpatient neurology unit. With Patty Schaefer and other colleagues, she helped to develop BIDMC into one of the preeminent epilepsy nursing centers in the country, a model that nurses at other places would follow. Diane did it all. She provided outstanding compassionate care to her patients. She took charge of coordinating the complex epilepsy surgery cases, and she oversaw the programming for one of the largest single-center VNS patient populations in the country. More importantly, she did all these things while being one of the most warm, open, and friendly colleagues we could ever hope to have. Whether in her office, or in the EEG lab, or in the neurology clinic, Diane could always be counted on to share the latest funny misadventures of her children, to give practical and useful advice on tricky patient situations, or just to chat about what was going on in the world. She was really a fixture in our neurology department for as long as any of us can remember. For several years, I occupied the office directly next to hers, and Diane was perhaps the colleague at work I spoke to most often. I'll always remember our conversations fondly, and I was perpetually amazed at how well she knew the details of every single patient's life, knew their family members and friends on a first-name basis, and all of this just off the top of her head. As we all struggle with this immense loss here at Beth Israel Deaconess, our thoughts are with Diane's loved ones and family members, including her children, Corinne, Nick, and Olivia. We were so fortunate to be able to work closely with her for so many years. Please join me in offering this tribute to Diane Sundstrom.